We'll just give you guys a few minutes to come on and then we'll begin. Right, come up to let's try to bring you. You can't can you bring your body up just a little bit, okay? It's fine. Hello, hello. If you guys would just give us a moment, we will get started very briefly. Hello, hello. Just a moment. We'll get started very briefly. We're going to get you guys a moment to come in. Thank you guys for tuning in with Mandy, the mentor, on today. I am sitting here with a very special young 19 years of age guest of mine, Brittney White. How are you, Brittney?
I'm fine.
All right. You're very welcome. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Very welcome. So our show today, guys, is about the young and impressionable generation. And when I think about being, of course we know what being young is, but when I think about being impressionable, I think about lack of discernment. I think about lack of critical thinking skills, and I also think about peer pressure, because there are youth out here that are suffering and they're facing peer pressure. And if you are no longer a youth, and if you are mature in age, you know that we've all been through peer pressure from one time to the next. I know with me, I went through a lot of peer pressure as growing up, and I did not make all of the right decisions. So I'm sitting here with Brittney White, and Brittney is going to just tap into this conversation today and let us know her experiences. She's going to share with us what she feels about peer pressure and basically explain what our youth go through today. So Brittney, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so hi guys. My name is Brittney. I usually go by either Bree or Renee, my middle name, but either or, whatever you want to call me. I'm 19 years old, as my aunt stated earlier in the video, and I attend Prairie View A&M University. And coming this coming week, no, not this coming week, but in the next few weeks, around the 26th, I'll be starting my second year. I'll be a sophomore, and my major is psychology. I want to counsel kids, mainly dealing with trauma and whatnot. So, yeah.
Okay, that's so awesome. So you want to counsel the youth that's dealing with trauma. Why do you have that passion to counsel youth that's dealing with trauma?
Mainly because I've been through traumatic situations when I was younger myself. So I kind of want to deal with youth that go through those experiences.
Okay.
So that way I can let them know, hey, you're not the only person going through this. I understand how you feel. I've been through this, and we're gonna get you the help that you need.
So good. Brittney, that is so good. It's good that you're looking at your youth now and you're seeing what they're going through and the challenges they're facing, and now you have a passion to help them. So awesome. So Brittney, as you know that I'm a mentor. You've had the opportunity to meet some of my mentees and to be in the present of certain things that we do. Tell me, because we talk a lot in mentorship about relationship with Christ, right? And I know that you are young, but yet I know that you know of Christ and that you have had a relationship with Christ. So can you just give us a little bit of your background with your relationship with Christ and what he means to you?
Well, growing up, I didn't really know who he was until my dad got custody of me, which I was still very young, but not as young. He actually introduced me to Christ, so I really thank God and he just kind of like let me know who he is and all that he does. And as I got older, I kind of just started to develop my own relationship with him as far as what he means to me. So, and I've also had like experiences with him. So God is real.
Yes.
So he's real. But what he means to me, I can't really explain it. It's just I know that he is my provider. He is there when I need him, and even through the obstacles that I have faced over this past year, he has shown countless times that it's like, okay, I got you. Even when you feel like that there is nothing that you can do, or you feel like that you just want to give up, like I'm still here. So that's what he means to me.
Amen. Amen. Well, that's a lot. I remember you, Brittney, as a little girl, you would come to my house, and I remember how you would carry around your little Bible. And I remember she would still time away to be with God. There was times where the other children would be in the next room and they would be playing, and little Brittney here, no older than 12 years of age, she would be having her alone time with God. So God called our children at an early age, and I'm just going to say this as somebody that the Lord used to operate in the prophetic. This little girl here was chosen by God. She has a mighty work. The hand of God is on her life, and before she even heard of him or may have had insight of who God was, I honestly believe that Brittney had already had a connection to the Lord in her heart, because it was easy for Brittney to be receptive to the things of God at a very young age. So I just wanted to say that, Brittney, because I know that you said, oh, he's my provider, X, Y, and Z. He is your provider. But I just know that your relationship with him was so deep. So tell me, how is it now that you are a college student? Could you tell everyone what college you go to?
The illustrious Prairie View A&M University. I love my HBCU, so.
Prairie View. All right. So you enjoy, do you have friends there?
I do, very much so.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Let's go back to your walk with Christ. How is it now that you go to college? Do you see the Lord Jesus? Do you still have the view of the Lord Jesus the way that you had as a youth prior to college, or has that changed?
I would say it varies depending on the situations. Like if it's a whole bunch of chaos that's going on around campus and I can't really see him in the midst of it, but if there's like something going on with another student or just with me and myself or a friend of mine, then he's active. Like there's a lot of students, I was surprised to know that a lot of students, they actually attend the church on campus and they're in there praising God and they're reading their Bibles and they're trying to connect with God, and they actually want their relationship to be deeper and to be better with him. That honestly amazed me, because I wasn't expecting that, because when you go to college, you're kind of like, oh, they're not really worried about that. But I was amazed. I was surprised. So.
You were. So let me ask you, from what you were taught as growing up to the point of you being now in college, is your view of Christ still the same? Do you still see him the way you saw him as a child or growing up and what you were taught?
Yes, I still do. And the reason why is because after college, or just being a young adult in general, your parents aren't there to like shield you or to help guide you anymore. You're on your own. So I feel like this is a critical time to actually develop, if you haven't, to actually develop a relationship with him and to get to know him, because life doesn't get easier after this. It doesn't.
Okay, and you're absolutely right. It does not. How do you witness to your peers? How do you come across when your peers are going through in school? How are you a light to them?
Well, I just basically motivate them, which is something that I've always done, or feel like that I've done with friends and people that I'm close to. Whenever they feel down, I just kind of be the barrier and pick them up. Like, it's okay, you got this. Like, keep going and whatnot. I've had a few instances with a few friends that they don't attend Prairie View, but they are the same age as me, where I had to kind of get onto them in a loving way, and be like, this is what's not okay. I don't need you doing this because of this. But at the end of the day, we all make mistakes and we're human, and I still got you at the end of the day. So.
Okay, so you're there, you're very supportive. Do you bring our Lord Jesus into the picture, or do you uplift him with encouraging words? How does that work?
It will be a mixture of both sometimes, depending on what exactly we're talking about. If it's something not really that deep, it will just be like, oh, you got this, it's okay, with the boo, and then go on. But if they're really struggling, then we will actually get into where we bring God into the situation, and I give them words of encouragement, or I might throw out a scripture and reiterate it into my own words.
Okay, all right, minister. Okay, minister. But no. So, we know the title is called A Young and Impressionable Generation. When we think about being young, well, we know what young is. When we think about the word impressionable, we think about the lack of critical thinking. We think about peer pressure. We think about not really having a lot of discernment. So can you share with us those areas where there is peer pressure in your life? Because you're a college student, so I know you go through challenges in life where it's pressure to do the right thing sometimes, or where your peers may be doing something and you decide to do something else because what they're doing you may not be in agreement with.
Yes. So, well, this was the example that I gave my aunt last night, but I'll also bring up another example after this one. But I had just came home yesterday from doing 2 summer sessions at Prairie View. So in the first summer session, I met a guy named Emeka. He's Nigerian American, but we call him Easy. And his roommate was Austin, so I also met him, and I hung out with them for a bit of time to get to know them and whatnot. And Austin, he is an alcoholic. His families are alcoholics. His sister, his brother, you name it. And Easy, even though we're all finna be sophomores in college, he's not used to drinking a lot like Austin is. So whenever Austin would throw parties at his place and we're all there, Easy would just kind of keep up with Austin, and he knows in his mind that he can't, but it's just the fact that he internalizes that. And it's like, my good friend here is an alcoholic. He's going to bring drinks at these parties that we have here at our house. So I need to be able to keep up with him when you don't necessarily need to. So that's internalized peer pressure, like pressuring yourself to do something because of a close friend of yours, or just people that are around. Would y'all like another? Would you want another example? Okay. Well, okay. This this is pertaining to me, but
that's what I want.
So earlier in the school year, my first semester, I turned 19 last September, the 13th. So this year,
that's my birthday, by the way.
on the 13th, I'll be turning 20. So I didn't really celebrate it that much last year, but I did end up going to a party that weekend with a few friends that I knew. And the driver, since he was older than all of us and able to buy drinks, he bought a bottle of liquor, and all of us were drinking and whatnot. And I didn't have to drink because, it's just because you go to a party don't mean you have to drink. But because it's like, I see that he brought the bottle, and everyone around me in our little group is taking shots. I took shots also, and I ended up getting my first hangover the next day, and that was the worst feeling ever. I was like, never again can I get so wasted to where I have a pounding headache the next day. So that was also another example of internalizing peer pressure, because I saw everyone else doing it in my group. I was like, well, let me just go ahead and do it too.
Okay. So making the decision to drink the alcoholic beverage? Was it because everybody else was doing it and you weren't going to look so cool, or did you just feel like you wanted to have fun?
Um, the thing about being in college and like drinking and stuff, people don't really care if you don't drink or not at the end of the day. I mean, they might be like, oh, take a shot with the boo and try to like pressure you themselves. But if you really don't want to, then they'll just like, okay, cool. Like they don't want to, let's leave them alone. So I think it was just wanting to have fun, and the fact that we have alcohol to have fun with. I just went ahead and drank some.
So you suffered the consequences next day, huh?
Yes, ma'am, I
Okay,
did.
okay. So what would you tell those teenagers, especially the young, those that are, first of all, not legal age to drink, which is 21 in Texas, and also just in general outside of that, what would you tell them about drinking and under peer pressure, giving in because everybody else is doing it, or just because you want to have a good time? What advice would you give to them?
You do not have to drink alcohol to have a good time, because I know a couple of people that have never drank in their life and they go to these parties and they are the life of the party. You would think that they're drinking or smoking, whatever, but no, they're completely sober and they're just out there having fun. So it's completely possible. It's just don't let your friends peer pressure you, and don't pressure yourself just because you see other people doing it. You have to have what's the word I'm looking for? A willpower to not do so. And plus, as time goes on, alcohol kind of destroys your life if you become an alcoholic. My friend Austin is an example. So yes, do not give into it. Just have fun sober if you can, or don't go at all.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. So let me ask you. You were 19, and we know that you like boys. How's your dating life?
I'm currently dating someone right now. We've been together for 8 months, but officially on the 30th of this month. So thank God for that.
Okay. Mentioning God, is he a believer?
Yes, ma'am. He is, very much so.
Okay. And do you guys talk about the things of the Lord? Do you guys study the Word together? Come on, give us some insight, girl.
Well, we haven't got to that point of studying the Word together, but we have had many conversations about God and our beliefs about Him and what we think of Him. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, he caught me in the middle of having an intimate moment with God. And at first, he thought something was wrong because he was in another room while we were cleaning up, and he's on the phone with his best friend. So all he hears is just crying. But when he got to me finally, and he saw like, okay, she's okay, then he just kind of like calmed down. So that was like his first time seeing me be intimate. And now whenever I am, he just kind of like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave her alone because this is her time with him.
So you respect your time with God.
Yes, he does.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. So what are your passions when it comes to the things of God?
Well, like in general, or just something?
Yeah, it can be in general. It can be specific, but it has just pertaining to the things of God. So maybe a ministry God has called you to, things that God has laid on your heart to do.
Well, besides helping kids with trauma, I also write poetry and stories. So I believe that God laid on my heart to one day maybe possibly publish my work of poetry, all the poems that I've written over the years, to help someone that is going through what I have went through and all the feelings that I've had. And from being a teenager up until a young adult, up until that time that I'm supposed to publish it, or whenever I get ready. I honestly don't know how that's going to happen, but I know when that time comes, I'll be ready to move forward with it. So.
Okay. You know who writes and they write prophetically? You know Renee. You met Renee on last night. Renee writes. She writes prophetically, and the Lord really used her in that area. He uses her to be encouragement to other people. And I can honestly see that about you. One thing I do know about you is that you have encouragement in you. That's already built in. So I can see that. And then watching you as a child, carrying your paper and pencil and your Bible and writing down your ideas and things of that nature, I can honestly see you operating in that lane. Renee, our family, guys, if I do not shout you out, please forgive me. These comments are coming through slow. Some of them I can see, some of them I can't. If you are a regular on the page, I'm probably going to see your comment before I see anyone else's. Renee Rutledge said, yes, goes. Hi, Perry Harris. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Miss Hicks. And I do apologize if I do not shout you out. It's a possibility if you normally do not tune in, I may not be able to see your comments. I'm on an Android and it operates differently. Okay, so writing. Okay, so we have counseling, and then we have the passion of writing spiritual things.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you, what are some obstacles that you currently have while you're in school? And it doesn't have to be related to school specifically. It can be just your personal life, Brittney.
One of the things that I feel like I'm facing right now is the fact that I am turning 20 in about 3 weeks.
Say that again. Say it a little louder.
One of the obstacles that I feel like I'm facing right now in my life is the fact that I'm turning 20 in the next 3 weeks or so. And I say that because even though I'm in a better mental state right now than I was earlier this year, I've had reoccurring nightmares of traumatic experiences. So I feel like it's telling me something which is possibly getting ready for a change, or that something is gonna happen in my life. I just know it's telling me something big. Definitely change, and I feel like this change is me going into a new decade of living. And I'm not excited, but I'm gonna try to get excited about it. Yeah.
So you're expecting for something big to happen.
Yes.
And that's okay. Well, that's okay. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to look for it and expect. And sometimes we just have to wait on the manifestation of what the Lord is showing you to come to pass. So when you are going through different challenges in life, how do you deal with that?
Well, in the past, I did not deal with it healthily. I used to self-harm. I actually relapsed back in January over a situation dealing with my mom and my stepdad, and that was dealing with school, all of that together. But I've been 8 months clean, so that's a blessing.
That is a blessing.
But what I'm now trying to learn is just to learn how to cope healthily whenever I do go through things. So what I started doing was praying. I mean, of course we pray every day, but when I go through stuff, I tend to shut down, and I don't necessarily wallow in it. It's a weird way to explain it, but I started praying so that way my cries can be heard, and my soul can be lifted and feel free, even though I'm still going through this. But it's just the fact that God knows what's going on, and I know that it's going to be handled however it's supposed to be. And also writing out how I feel, whether it be anger, depression, happiness, whatever the case may be. So those are just healthy ways, but of course I still want to learn more how to cope healthily.
And I believe that's why you do have the passion, have passion to help you right there. Because you stated that you want to learn more how to cope healthy in a healthy way. And I honestly believe that's a part too of why you want to help the youth, you know, because you look at your experiences, you look at people that are connected to your experiences, and you're like, okay, God, I want to be used as an avenue of revenue to, help these people.
Yes.
Right. Do you trust the Lord?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know you trust Him?
When I get to that point where it's just when I feel like I'm going to give up and I'm talking to Him and I just let it all go and I'm like, you got it. When I literally say you got it to Him, I know that I'm going to let Him handle it and try not to worry. Because that's also one of my biggest downsides about me is that I worry a lot. So when I try not to and I just let Him handle it, then I know that, okay, I'm trusting in Him to do what He's going to do.
Well, amen. That's so powerful. Because we have issues with letting go. A lot of the time, as human beings, we give something to God and we take it right back because we don't trust Him enough to handle it, and we want to be in control. So to hear you say that, Lord, I just leave it in Your hands. That's awesome. Now I do want to go to Word on the Street. Word on the Street. Sherry Gray. Hi, Sherry. Sherry said that, she said, I love her, the fact that she's transparent. She loves the fact that you're being open, you're being honest, and you're just like, this is me. These are the issues that I've had. This is what I'm going through. This is me. So that's beautiful. Thank you for being transparent.
Y'all welcome. Honestly, I was nervous about this because I usually don't like being transparent unless I'm getting to know you. So the fact that I'm actually sitting here and sharing these things with y'all is a really big step for me because I'm usually not so transparent.
She's like a little lady that's sitting. She is a little lady, but she's a little lady that's sitting on the side of me. So, Brittney, how is our relationship? How do you? Because you and I, we just like you, my girl. You, my girl. We share a birthday together. We discuss things. She came home yesterday from college. I picked her right up. I mean, she didn't make it in the house good enough. I'm like, let's go. How is our relationship? I want to hear from your perspective. I've never really asked you that. So come on, now's the time. Now we're live, but I want you to be transparent as you have been.
I believe our relationship is really good. We have a strong bond. Besides the fact that we share a birthday, I've always clung to you since I was younger. So being older, I never really was surprised that I'm still clinging to you as I used to when I was growing up. And I love you.
I love you too. I love her. I love you too. Yeah, Brittney is very gifted. As a matter of fact, my brother and sister children, all three of them are very gifted. God has given those children prophetic gifts, and Brittney happened to be one of them. In all of their children, you can see the operation of God at an early age, especially the baby girl. And the middle child, which is Jamala's, God gives him dreams. The baby girl, she just speaks prophetically. She doesn't even know it yet. And Brittney, the Lord deals with her. He deals with her in just different ways. He definitely speaks. But Brittney is the type of person, she has been in the past where when God tells her something, she kind of keeps it between her and God until you just have that moment with her, and then she releases. So I absolutely just love my sister and brother kids. I think that they've done an awesome job. So, can you see yourself, and I know this is early, and I'm not talking about now, don't ridicule me. Do you see yourself one day as being a parent?
Yes, very much so. That's one of my dreams. I'll let y'all know, I'm simple when it comes to goals and dreams. I do dream big, but I'm like, it's just something simple that's just what it is. So I do see myself as being a parent one day, especially loving on them and introducing them to God
Mm-hmm.
and watching them grow in God and just watching them grow in general to see how they process things and whatnot. I want to be better than my parents, so I most definitely I'm excited about it. Not now, but
Not now.
I'm excited for when that time comes.
Okay, so Brittney, how do you feel about teenage moms?
Well, they're at the end of the day they're moms. Just because they had their child young doesn't mean that they should face more ridicule than a woman that has waited till she was like 27 or 30 or 40. Um, she could have waited, but things happened and the baby was still a blessing at the end of the day. And being a parent, whether you're young or old, is hard in general. So I don't really have any like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. Like, I don't have no judgment as far as that. It's just that being a parent is hard no matter what age. Yes, they could have waited, but the baby is still a blessing. So
Okay. So what are your views on abortion?
I don't believe in abortion. I would, unless in this extreme case where the baby has absolutely no chance at all, no chance of surviving, then that's when the baby should unfortunately be terminated. But in a regular case, I don't believe in it.
And why do you not believe in it?
Just having talks with my dad and like growing up and understanding why abortion is wrong, I don't believe in it because this is a whole human being that you're carrying, and yes, you should be excited about it, no matter what age that you have a baby, because you're literally carrying life inside of you and it's growing, and you get to experience all the changes, good and bad, of carrying that baby. But a lot of people, they don't feel that way initially when they hear that they're pregnant. So I just, like, you're killing a human being before it even gets here.
Okay. What about same-sex marriages?
I really, honestly,
I want you to think about that. I'm going to go word on the street, okay? While you think about that, I'm going to word on the street. So Sherry Grace said, this is what we need to see as babies in Christ. Absolutely, Sherry. Absolutely. I agree. I honestly agree. Angela Pruitt said, simple and direct. Because you're keeping it straight to the point. We can understand you. We pretty much know your stance at this point. And you're being very transparent. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's go. Same-sex marriages.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been normalized in my generation, so we kind of just accept it as it is. And like, oh, okay, he's gay, or oh, okay, she's lesbian. But I mean, the reality of it is that it's still wrong at the end of the day. But it's normalized to where even I would be like, oh, you're gay, woo the woo, or oh, that's cool. When it really shouldn't be that way. You should still love them the same, because they don't deserve to die just because they are gay or lesbian or whatever their sexual orientation is. But at the end of the day, it's still wrong. So, and as a young adult, we kind of have to be careful about that. Things that are normalized. Because I was just having this conversation with my dad yesterday.
Okay.
That he was telling me that all these things that are coming up in your generation, it's wrong. Like, it's not right. Some of it is even disgusting. And I told him, like, it's normalized. That's just what it is. Yes, pure point blank period, it's wrong, but we're so used to seeing it that we just become desensitized to the fact that it is wrong. So not even young people, like just people in general, we just need to be careful about that, like being desensitized to things. And sometimes we might not even notice it until someone mentions it. So.
Okay, teacher. Well, and that's true. Do you think that's a trick of the enemy where we see something so much and it to the point where it become normal to us as believers because society has accepted it. Do you think that's a trick of the enemy for the Christians to basically say, okay, you know what? Everybody else is accepting this. This is the new way of the world. We should accept this also.
It's definitely a trick of the devil. Excuse me, y'all.
Okay, yeah.
Because we're just basically following along with society when we shouldn't be. Like, I can't remember if it's a scripture or not, but we're not. We're just in the world, but we're not of it.
Yes, that's a scripture. Yes, come on.
That's basically how we have to take on the attitude. So even though we got a friend over here that's like an atheist, and they like, yeah, go gays, like we gotta be like, we have to be like, well, this is wrong. We're still gonna love them, but their lifestyle is wrong. Mm-hmm. How they're living is wrong. So, but that doesn't mean like go judging people, because at the end of the day, we all sin, we're all not perfect, we're all living in some type of lifestyle that is wrong in general. So you shouldn't pass judgment on them either. But it's just what it is. So.
That's what it is. So we rightfully judge them, right, according to the word of God. So what you just did, you rightfully judged. You said, this is wrong, but I'm going to love you anyway.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. What about transgender? What about if a person has a sex change and they want to be deemed as a man have a sex change and he wants to be deemed as a woman? Do you consider that to be a woman, or is that still a man to you due to creation?
I'm still learning about transgenders in general and transsexuals and all that. So I would initially actually call them by what they want to be called by until like I actually get a full understanding of why this is. I mean, of course I know why it's wrong, but everything goes into a deeper level.
Okay.
So, and I'm not there yet. So yeah.
Okay. What about sharing the restroom with the opposite sex?
I don't like that at all. I don't believe in that. It's too many dangerous factors that go into that.
Like what?
Well, if we share restrooms with men, that is another opportunity for a pedophile to come and touch a female or a male, and another opportunity for a rapist to come and rape a female or a male, whatever their preference is. I don't know. That's just well, whatever they want to do. That is just a dangerous situation in general to share restrooms. It's a good thing that we're separate.
Okay. Shout out to Jade on the line tonight. Good evening, Jade. All right. Guys, I've been drilling her with questions. I just want to see her point of view and how she sees things. You are really on target with the way you see things, and the way you've been taught. And very honorable. It's very honorable. It's very honorable that you stand your ground to what you believe in. But what I love, out of everything you said tonight, what I love is that you said, I do not agree, but my job is to love you. I will let you know I do not agree, but my job is to love you. Because at the end of the day, love is the glue.
Yes.
The love of God is the glue.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And speaking of love, how do you display the love of God? Or how is the love of God displayed through you when you face challenges with people that are in opposition to you, or people that are, maybe a little, I don't want to use the word shady, but they may not really be your friends, but they appear to be friendly towards you when you're around. How do you deal with that?
Well, I dealt with the situation. I dealt with many situations like that. But the first one that came to mind was from my senior year, where this girl, she called me her best friend, but I didn't really consider us as best friends, because I could see the way that she would move around other people and the way that she just moved in general. And I remember that she tried to fight me one day, and my friend was sitting next to me, and she's standing over me just like, but do you want to fight though? Do you want to fight though? And I'm like, can you I'm trying to stay calm. It's like, can you please go sit down? Because you don't want to fight me over anything. You're just following what everyone else is doing within. Because it was a whole situation that was already going on. And she ended up putting herself in the mix of that situation. And it had nothing to do with her. And she just wanted to fight me. So I stayed calm the whole time. But she kind of made me nervous because she had the upper hand because she was standing over me. And I don't like that because if she swung, then y'all know the rest. So I had to just sit there and be calm, and she finally walked away. And then she came back a few weeks later, and she tried to talk to me and everything, and I brought it up just calmly as I could. There was no hostility in my voice, nothing. And she tried to play it off like it didn't happen, or like, downplay it. You know how some females do. And I just said okay, because I wasn't going to argue with her. I didn't feel like doing that, but I just knew how the situation was. I just wanted to see if she wanted to be honest and upfront, because I didn't confront her in any type of way. I was calm and whatnot. But that's the first situation that popped up in my head. Currently, what I'm going through, I don't talk to the girl like that, but whenever she is around, I could tell that there's hostility between the both of us. And so what I decided to do was sit down and talk to her when I go back to PV. But I'm giving her a time frame because of the things that she's going through currently. That was told to me by my significant other. So I'm just kind of going to let her feel what she feels, and then go ahead and go in and talk to her so we can settle it.
So what are you going to do before talking to her? What are you want to do to prepare yourself to make sure the conversation goes right, or that you just covered when you interact with her?
I definitely am going to go over what I'm going to say, and if I feel like the things that I'm saying, it's an attack, then I might reword it. And I'm probably going to talk with one of my close friends about it and get her opinion. She's a little meaner than me, so she's going to come out hostile, but I have to bring it back and be like, no, I can't do this, because then that's an automatic fight, and we don't need that. And definitely talk to my significant other about it, because me and him, we're not confrontational people. We don't like to fight. We rather settle it where you either talk it out or handle it in a peaceful way. And then just kind of go in with knowing in mind the things that she's been going through, that she's going through, and related to me, and just kind of go in with love as much as possible. Unless it goes left, then I have to. It seems like I'll have to act accordingly. But initially, go in with love and a calm tone, and not to attack her, just to get out how we feel so we can deal with the situation.
Amen. In order to prevent situations like that from escalating, we have to acknowledge God. So my advice to you would be, you acknowledge God, you pray about that situation, and when the Lord tell you to go, then you go. Because I know you don't want any type of confrontation, and you stated you're going to speak to her in love, but you want to make sure that God, the Lord, covers you as you go. So you want His instructions when to go and how to go to her.
Yes.
So there's just a little nugget.
I understand.
Yeah, so you want to acknowledge Him in your way so He can direct your path. He can tell you, okay, Brittney, do X, Y, and Z. Because sometimes we can think that we're doing something the right way, and it can be all wrong. And I'm just speaking from experience. There's times I felt like I was doing things the right way, but it was literally the wrong way. So by me acknowledging God first, it prevented me from going the wrong way. When I started doing that, because there were times where I just did not. Okay? All right. So anything else you would like to talk about? Give it to us.
If y'all got questions, y'all can ask me.
Okay. I do want to say this. Victoria your auntie Victoria says she is so proud of you.
Thank you.
So proud of you and that you're doing a good job. And so she's extremely proud of you. That you just really allow the Lord to use your life, and that you're not afraid to speak on different issues that basically this world is facing.
Yes.
So what do you think about our president? What do you think about Donald Trump and what's going on in our government?
I try not to get into the political scene now, because when I first started learning about what was actually going on in our country and like things that deal with us Black people in general and how we're treated and how people of color are treated, I was very like hard hitting on it, but I kind of toned down. So now I try not to get so political. I honestly don't know what to think of him. I'm not trying to put my dad out there, but he's actually a Trump supporter, as far as I believe. He has told me that Trump has gave money to HBCUs to help keep them funded and whatnot. Because I remember I brought up a situation where it was said that he didn't really like us, and that's when he hit me with the, well, he funded HBCUs, he's getting the money, but I honestly don't know what to think of him. But let's vote him out at this point, because it seems like this country is just in a state of turmoil, and it has gotten worse since he's been president. So maybe we need someone new to kind of like help die down the tension that's going on in the country.
Okay. So let me ask you, Miss Brittney White, if you were our president, how would you conduct yourself? How would you make things better?
Well, of course, conduct myself in a fashionly manner. The things I would change is world hunger, because I believe we can end it. We have all this money to give to the military, but people are still out there hungry, so that would be an action to end world hunger. To start putting things in the lower class neighborhoods to kind of give them a boost to get themselves together, so that way we won't like hear any complaints about this or that, and people blaming other people or blaming the system, because sometimes it's what I'm learning is it's not always the system, sometimes it is us. So, but I mean, if we give people that little boost, then I feel like that will give them the motivation to help themselves. Definitely take drugs out the neighborhoods. You guys go research war on drugs. Those are just a few things that come to mind, like the top of my head, that I would change.
Okay. Do you want to visit third world countries? And if you do, where would you like to go?
Definitely want to visit. Well, Africa isn't really considered a third world country, I don't think. But I would want to visit the safe parts, because I know that in every country there are dangerous parts that Americans should not go to. So definitely the safe parts. I think that's really it that can come to mind. I definitely don't want to visit Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. It's too much going on over there. I know I'll leave it alone. I don't know, maybe whatever third world country needs help that's safe for us, I would go visit.
Okay, well, I will say this. Since Africa is out of the country, I did have the opportunity to visit Cape Town in South Africa, and it was a wonderful experience. It was a wonderful experience, but if you are thinking about, and I know we have the poor here, and I know we have the needy here, and I honestly believe in helping where I am, and the Lord will branch us out elsewhere, but that is a place where help is actually needed. That's a place where there is ambulance that will not come into different environments due to violence. I was actually sitting in someone's home, me and some other ladies, and it was a lady that had a baby just a few feet away from where we were, and the ambulance would not come and get her. They had to take her to the hospital on a bicycle, her and her baby. Yeah, so it's definitely needed, and they need people like you, people with a heart to help, such as yourself. So, who is your role model? Who is your role model? And once you tell us who your role model is, it can be somebody famous, it can be somebody historical. It doesn't matter. It can just be Joe down the street. But tell us who your role model is and why. Why?
Well, I don't really think I have any role models, but I'll just kind of give you a list of people who I think will be role model worthy for certain reasons. Well, my close family members and my close friends know I love Michael Jackson a lot.
Yes, she does. She. Go ahead, please.
I feel like he would be role model worthy because of the love and the compassion he had for children to help them. And despite what you think, I'm not here to debate about that, but him just wanting to help them out because they are our future. The children, the young adults, they are our future, and we need to train them up to be ready to make changes into the world. And I just really love that about him, just showing love and compassion. Another one is Meg Thee Stallion, but only because she's unapologetically her, and despite what people may say, she still loves herself. She is a tall person, so she got ridiculed for that, but she came to love her height, and I know that a lot of people have problems with that. Just like loving yourself in general, that's why I would consider her kind of role model worthy. That's what on top of my head, that's all I can think about.
Okay. So Angela Pruitt said, we need more young women to have a voice. Praise God. Amen. We really do, Angela. We need more young women to speak out and to address just different topics that especially our youth are facing. So let's just go back. I know we're not here to debate. So we know the accusations that was made against Michael Jackson about the child molestation. How do you feel about that? Because I know you love you somebody. This little girl used to stand in the living room and play Michael Jackson over and over and over again. It was like a broken record almost. But how do you feel about that?
It does get me upset sometimes when I see it in the media. I personally believe he didn't do any of that. There has been evidence to show that he didn't do it. I know with the first child that accused him, they found a recording of the child's father saying that if I let my son go through with this, I win a lot of money. So the son's father, he wanted to be a director, and so he thought, well, since my son knows Michael Jackson, maybe I can get in good with him and I can become a director. But Michael wasn't really worried about that because he kind of see through that, like, oh, you just using me, so no. And then he got upset and made his child accuse him of touching him. That's how I feel. It really be people out there like that want to, not just in general, they just want to use you in general, and then when you don't fall for it, they get mad and try to use tactics against you to get people to don't like you or to believe anything that they say about you when it's not the case, which is really sad. So
it is sad. So I know that you stated Michael Jackson, he helped a lot of children. How did he help those children?
He used to visit them in hospitals and give them gifts. He made charity donations to orphanages so kids can get better services and also be adopted. He bought his own concert tickets and filled up I think about 5 or 6 rows just for kids to watch the concerts for free because they couldn't afford it. It's just random acts of kindness like that.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you. So we're talking about the young and impressionable. What do you think about Beyonce?
I like her.
Okay.
I don't listen to her a lot like a lot of people do. I don't like how her fan base kind of thinks that she's God when she isn't. That's the one thing I can say that I don't.
So you're not a bumblebee or whatever they call them.
Oh, babe. I mean, well, bees or something like that. I don't know. I just know the whole group thing is called Beehive, and they're the bees or whatever. Because I mean, at the end of the day, she's still human. She is very successful, and she has built her empire.
She has.
But she's still human. She's not God.
Amen.
But I like her.
Okay, Brittney White. Okay. All right. So what do you think about, and I'm asking these questions, guys, because she is of the younger generation, and these are people that are influenced in our children's lives. So this is why I'm asking her these questions. What about Kim Kardashian helping to free young black people or people of ethnics or things of that nature?
I think that's a good thing, especially considering how a lot of people don't like her or her family. I know I've heard things about how they are culture vultures, which basically means they like to steal things from our culture and then make a new name of it and sell it. Culture appropriation, basically. If you guys don't know what that means, it's basically meaning like, say I have these hoop earrings and I named them bedazzling earrings, and then one of my friends comes along and steals the idea and she calls it rings of rings or whatever mess, and then it's like she gets all the credit and everybody's like ooh, but then I'm like, okay, I made the idea first, and then people are like, I don't really like that, it seems ghetto, or it seems low down. So that's basically just an example of culture appropriation. But I think it's good that she's actually out there helping people of color, especially with all the rumors and stuff that I heard about them. So.
Okay, so what do you feel about the rumors what do you feel about, just trying to, everything that, because one of the rumors is that, one of the rumors, let me just say it, is that they try to portray black women as far as body parts and things of that nature, like the lips, the behind, the figure, but they do not want a black woman in their inner circle or to be as successful as they are. What do you feel about that?
Well, considering how the whole scandal went down with Jordan and Kylie and Tristan, I'm 50-50 on it because, of course, at the end of the day, we don't know these people, and I don't particularly pay attention to them because I could care less about them. But I do see a lot of that from celebrities in general, or white celebrities, where they try to portray us and the qualities that we have, but they don't want to see us be successful, or they don't want to deal with us, or just whatever the case may be, and that angers me because you can never be us. I understand we're magical and everything, but it's just, you guys can never be us. And the fact that you can just go get surgery to look like us and you can act like us, we're still black, or we're still Mexican, or Asian. At the end of the day, we have to be like this 24/7, 365 days of our lives, and y'all can just take it off or go get surgery for it. That's not cool. So.
Okay. So what about vice versa? What about the black girls or the Hispanic girls who go and get a nose job, or want to take away the access that they have, like the behind, or
I think it's just a matter of what we see in the media and how our beauty isn't really displayed like that, and you just see Eurocentric features, and you kind of internalize that, and you start to hate how you look because you want to look like them without even knowing that you're beautiful yourself. and you shouldn't take away the access booty or the access boobs, unless like they really it's a dire situation. But you should be proud of that, because that's what made you you. So I just feel like it's a matter of being bombarded with images of people that don't look like us to make us think that we're ugly, and part of that is also self-hate, and we have to unlearn that as Black people and people of color in general in order to really accept ourselves and each other.
Okay. Well, you guys heard it here first from Brittney White. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Brittney, tell us, how can we contact you?
Okay. You guys can contact me. If you want my email is BrittneyWhitedhs@gmail.com. So it's BrittneyWhitedhs@gmail.com to like email me. You guys can like call me.
No.
Oh, we don't get that.
No.
Okay. Oh, do you guys give out social media?
You can give your social. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. My Facebook is my name, of course. So it's a picture of me with a Chick-fil-A cup, PBA and me shirt. Just so I'm trying to be specific, because you know we have a lot of people named Brittney. So my Instagram is celestial.renee. In case y'all want to follow me on there. So yeah, that's how y'all can contact me.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Brittney. Thank you for opening up. Thank you for your transparency. We need advocates like you. Someone that can speak on the behalf of our young people, and someone that can just impart in our young people and let them know, hey, you have a voice, and your voice will be heard. Okay, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. We have, at the end of September, another event coming up. The name of the event for 2019 is called Roaring Mentees. I will have mentees that will be on a panel this year, and we will have vendors this year. A lot of excitement. If you are a mentor, or if you are interested in being a mentor, or if you would like to be a mentee, I encourage you to come out to this event. It is going to be powerful. We have our very own Kanisha Tanay that will be our host this year. She is powerful. She's a member of the Potter's House, but she's also a minister of God who loves the Lord, and she loves people. She's a mentor herself. So more information will be coming soon. We're just getting things in order, and we're finalizing locations and our speakers and etc. So guys, just continue to watch the page. Please like and share. Until next time, God bless you. Talk to you soon. Turn it off. Very bottom, finish right there.